Okay.
Hello everyone, this is Olga Show, live on air every Saturday night. Olga Show supports technology, culture and people. So we have a second guest in our show for tonight, Dan Wrighton. Did I say it right this time? His second time.
I answer to many variations, but yes.
Dan Wrighton.
Dan Wrighton I go by, but Wrighton is perfectly acceptable.
Okay, well I put some Russian accent to it, okay? Please forgive me for that. I just make it more memorable.
Okay.
We have lots of Russian guests here all over, so they would hear my Russian accent, so I feel like home again. And Tom also with us here, so you wanted to ask some question, and of course.
Just a quick one, because it brought me back. I remember Valid Logic working with those systems. In a previous life, I was a design engineer at McCraw, the company that invented the personal computer. And we're in the Mountain View History Museum as well, Computer History Museum. But I do remember very decent product. And in my role, I was team lead. This was my highlight in the EE world was as the team lead of the first custom silicon-based accelerated x86. And after that, I was pretty much strictly a software guy. But anyway, it's a small world. So
thank you.
Remember that. That's a nice company.
So yeah, here it's really small world, and now you would be able to chit chat after the program, as I came to introduce again Dan with his new solutions for our technology. 15 patents pending, more coming. So please tell us about raincloud.com company.
Well, our software technology uses virtual reality to convert television into a more engaging and interactive viewer experience. We took this to Apps World and won Best Overall last year. So unlike other approaches to this that use simplistic graphics and text overlays, we have a fully immersive and end-to-end system that delivers superior ratings for pennies on the dollar.
Now, with virtual reality magic, that's how I saw you in the press and in Apps World.
That's right. We have a platform, and it allows a lot of different things to mix virtual reality with media. Virtual reality's become pretty hot lately because of the big acquisition of Oculus by Facebook.
Only $2 billion.
Well, they haven't shipped a product yet, and they're $2 billion.
$2 billion for a product. That's
and
large.
Mark Zuckerberg's, his whole quote on that was, "It is the next big thing," and I think a lot of people were a little confused by that, but suddenly investors are seeing virtual reality as being a very lucrative exit for startups. But on top of that, if you just think about it, social media is about shared experiences, and television is also about shared experiences, some real, some fictional, but it's still about sharing experience, and the two are actually headed for a collision. They're converging, the two. So interactive social media television is also the future, but virtual reality is going to take shared experiences to a whole other level real soon. The devices are capable of it now that are shipping. So
now you won Best Overall at Apps World Conference.
Correct.
And obviously you also were pretty famous, and you were all over the media, San Jose Mercury News, Business Week, NHK, and I can go on and on with your virtual solutions for engaging and bringing more interactive experience for viewers.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, unlike other approaches, you have 15 patents pending, and I know it's a long process and it's very costly. And just to throw out there, if somebody will help you to make this process faster, so we as the viewers start to using your technology immediately, how that would be possible?
Well, our platform, our whole go-to-market with this, you're talking about the users using it, we're lining up B2B partners and sponsors that are in the both advertising and content provider realm. But one of the things that we think is a real advantage of our platform is that we can we can actually deploy it. It's a platform that we can deploy. It's completely software. We can deploy it through the App Store. So it can be bundled with titles, with content. It can be bundled with devices. It can be bundled with platforms. And we've gotten a lot of interest in all of those kinds of bundles. So we're progressing towards a go-to-market there. In terms of the, were there two questions in there? Because there was a lot about the patents as well, I believe.
Yes, patents,
I was
yes.
teasing you a little
What
about.
if I want like to own those patents?
Well,
that-
I don't think he'd let you buy his patents. They're very important for his company.
Yeah, there's a potential we may get some revenue, post some revenue through some patent sales. We only have 15 officially pending, which is actually quite a lot, but we've got over 500 claims that are already in the filing with the priority dates, they call them. So that's about 25 patents worth of claims, and we've got a whole bunch more hidden claims in there. So there's a lot in the pipeline. I guess I'm using kind of jargon here, but that's
right. No,
you know,
that's understood.
but-
That's not like great details of
But the-
technology there.
But it covers a lot of, I mean, actually you can read a lot of them. They've been published by the USPTO, and we have links on our website at www.raincloud.com that you can look at. It's pretty dry reading for the average person, but we have summaries of what they are, and then you can actually drill all the way down
But
to.
it's not like
what the
RAIN,
patents
it's REIN,
Yes.
cloud.com.
Yes,
Yes.
like rain, like in reindeer, not like in rain.
Okay.
Yes.
And then in terms of those 15 patents, if, for instance, I can give you a loan for these patents, would I get anything on return?
Yeah, we're actually looking to, over the next several weeks, we're offering collateral guaranteed loans for that are designed to get double your money back in 2-year term, that are guaranteed by the actual collateral of the patents themselves. Just because that way we can take the funds we raise for, that we raise for our operations and focus on spending those on operations. It's the value of these patents that's been built up based on all the transaction comps we've seen and in the space and what they're going for on average. You just average patents in the space are in the $500,000 to $1 million value each. So we're talking about millions of dollars of value that we've built up that has just been, for an early stage startup, more of a drain in terms of the cost. So if we can take the value of those patents and cover those costs, then we can do our best to improve and get the best positions we can on those patents.
So here you have like an app that you created with this technology, and you can like look around in scenery. Like as you turn the tablet, it kind of shows you different parts of scenery. Are you planning to implement this on like TV and things? Oh yes.
Yeah, I couldn't bring our big screen TVs. We've got smart TVs. We're actually running on Fire TV, Amazon's Red Hot smart TV that I think is setting a de facto standard even as we speak. So we fully support that. We range from that to tablets, Oculus VR. We're development partners with them and have been for a while. So we're supporting smartphones, smart TVs, tablets, virtual reality devices, augmented reality glasses.
Yeah.
And the thing is that we can project the media virtually so that you can have any of these devices to access it. You can also access it with more than one at a time.
So now, like so for like, and if you had a virtual reality device, would you give you new scenery as your eyes move?
Yes.
Or would you? Oh wow! So it would be just like reality, where as your eyes move, you see more things.
As close as we can get. We're not quite at the full-blown holodeck or the brainstorm movie, plug direct tap to the spinal cord yet, but we're getting closer. So yeah, we're doing that now. We like I said, we could show you a little bit more advanced multi-device in Sunnyvale at our facility where we're demoing this, but yeah, we're ready to start shipping this real soon.
And where's that Sunnyvale facility, in case people are interested in coming and seeing?
Well, we're still a startup, so we're at plug and play right now because we've got decent real estate we can demo and show investors and so on in our other fundraising efforts that we're doing.
All right.
So I'm one of the person who cover computer games, but I don't necessarily, or technology, I don't necessarily play computer games. But
I got that covered.
yeah, what I like about that I don't have to wear the glasses, mess up my hairstyle, and I can just use that tablet and virtually, basically, not just move that tablet around me and see 360 degrees what's happening, and not only just in 2D, also 3D. So I thought that was very cute. cute, right? And nice, very interesting technology. Neat, yes, fancy.
Well, we're rendering in 3D, virtual 3D for everything, but we do support the stereoscopic 3D displays when automatically detected. The platform says, is this a stereoscopic device, and then allows you to do that. So the more immersion you can get, the better. So very, very immersive is our approach.
As immersive as you can get without having your spine tapped.
There you go, without the direct wire into the brain.
And also we kind of covered that your competitive attitude, that you also like to do yacht competition some sort.
Yeah, I don't think Tom would have been bored if he was racing out in the bay or out in the ocean with me. We've had some pretty exciting times out there.
I already see that happening. So as soon as you probably acquired companies again, you will be on the yacht next to each other. Just buy me a yacht next to you.
Wait, yacht racing?
Yes.
Yes.
We will be doing that.
It sounds like a very exciting sport.
Yes, and then I will watch you right there in the ocean. I will take interview from another
Yes.
ship. Okay,
How
virtual
is the
interview.
yacht? I'm sure we need to do something about the camera, because if you're racing a yacht, there's going to be a lot of turbulence.
Well, we can think of something. We will make 3D cameras and stuff and put it on tablets everywhere and do it live on air right away. So the other technology I really like personally, but you have so many technologies, 30 minutes is not enough to cover. So if you create the video, you can do product replacement.
Well, what we do, the reason we can do that and why it looks like so many different things, we do have a lot of patents, we have a lot of stuff, but the core unifying theme is that we 3D map the content. So once we do that, shot, what people call dumb video or old-fashioned media, becomes virtual. So once we know the virtual map of that, we can integrate it with any other virtual reality, and it really essentially turns into augmented reality at that point. But we're using virtual reality engines and mixing them both with geospace where people are and also with the shot media. So, all these applications that our patents cover is everything from having shared vacations with your friends where maybe you couldn't go with them, but they're having a party at the Coliseum and you can enjoy that and have that shared experience with them there. The particular one you were talking about was being able to put objects and characters in real time. We render all of this in real time on the user end, on the display device. So we can do that and actually put interactive objects and characters into the content. We can take content that's there and map it to characters and objects that are already in that shot, but then interact with those things. So we're not just putting 2D overlays or text menus or the old-fashioned kind of interactive TV that people are more used to, but this allows us to do a lot more immersive.
So if, for instance, I will be watching some programs on smart TV or computer, and I like, let's say, diamonds, you're gonna be placing extra diamonds on that actress for me? And also tell me where I can buy those diamonds?
Well, we can do that all the way to drill down to purchase. We're not planning to become the next Amazon, but we certainly can link to third-party things. We're very interested in working with Amazon in that respect as well, because we can link their Fire TV to Amazon Prime back to their Amazon purchase fulfillment. So it's kind of a natural link in there with what we have. But our software platform kind of ties together a lot of these things, Google Chromecast and Google TV and YouTube even. When you start to get into crowdsourcing this capability, we're talking about linking a lot of different.
And because you know the behavior of the person who gets to that program, so you know that my intern, what do you like to do the most? Play computer games or something else? Or,
Yeah, I love playing computer games.
or the cars, fancy cars?
Yes, I love cars.
So then would be fancy cars placed somewhere, or I will be driving on fancy cars.
Or will there be extra
Mhm.
car chase scenes, whatever I'm watching?
Well, the cars, you do have some issues with cars because they're being very cautious about how they deploy and what the regulations and so on. So there's a whole bunch of other issues there, but a lot of what we have I do think is applicable down the road to doing augmented reality. Shared
Like-
experiences in cars, in vehicles.
Now, in terms of what is it on the table? You can place with soda, right, or juice. That's what I saw.
We
at
have
the-
whole mobility zones. I think we showed you a few where that we had posters and wall hangings, painted paintings and posters and
Mhm.
soda cans and beer bottles and
And
Um,
of course, that's placement considerably by the person who is watching the video. So if you know that I don't search for alcohol, then you place soda for me or juice, organic juice, because you know my type of behavior and did 3D mapping.
right. Well, we
So
can
you know
we can
that.
know more than we probably should talk about.
Wow.
There are some issues that, and everybody, of course, is very focused on privacy. And the good news about privacy for us is that it isn't really going to affect our revenue getting to break even in any way. We're very focused on exactly how to get there, and we can deal with those kind of issues down the road. But there are some issues coming up in a number of different technologies.
In terms
Not just
of-
the Internet of Things, but smart TVs and the mobile consumption.
So you talked about the idea of you can have a shared vacation with your friends using this, like, you know, if you're friends at the Coliseum party, you can be with them using this class. Would this would this help you people, like, you know, have meetings or play sports with people who are across the world?
Absolutely. We have a snowball game that actually you can throw snowballs at people. You can be on the beach in Tampa or something, and maybe Daytona might be more fun, but you could be out there throwing snowballs at your friend in Michigan. Haha. You're still in the winter out there.
Now, I also would like to know a little bit about your experience and why you went into this technology.
Well, okay, I was biting my tongue earlier, but I think I should, you know, you asked about Tom's, how he got into E. My first invention, I've dabbled in computers my whole life, but my first electrical invention was at age 8.
Wow.
My older brother was doing electrical projects and light sequencers and flashers and stuff and things like that, and I just thought it was really cool. And he would take old extension cords and strip them and tie them up to these projects. And I asked him, well, what would happen if you tied it, because I'm thinking, you know, I'm learning that electricity goes in a circle. And it's AC, so it didn't really go in a circle. I didn't quite have that right, but the invention still worked, because what I did was I asked him, what would happen if you tied the two ends together?
Right.
Didn't put anything in between. He says, nothing. I didn't believe him, because I seldom did. You know, he was an older brother, you know. So I tied them two together and I plugged it into the wall. It was great. It turned all the lights in the house off at once, and it sent my dad to the cellar with fuse box. So, you you know, it was quite
It's
a
almost
device.
magic.
I thought
You
it
can
was.
control
I
your
was
dad's
very proud of
behavior.
myself.
We
So.
I don't think your parents were happy there, but
It's an ultimate off switch when you don't want to go switch off each right individually.
you just turn off everything.
Everything.
And then, of course, you try to go to the universities, and then you start working.
Yeah, I guess I went through a number of scholarship programs, but I went right into engineering, and like I said, I was working at McCraw early in my career and was a team lead on that. That was the high part of that. But I also was doing a lot of work with TV. I did original inventions, very young age, putting WGN on the air as a superstation. Worked directly with Paul Davis, who was the news director there and longtime RTNDA Radio Television News Director Association president. So that was kind of like, running with the old ones at the knee or something, I guess you'd call that. But I also did a lot of other inventions in terms of weather visualizations and was the first to put augmented reality on TV. Doing that, invented a lot of the weather visualizations that are still being used today, including multi-radar composite, automatically blending multiple images from radar and satellite. And anyway, it just went on and on from there, and I stayed in computers and did OEM, worked for, like I said, major OEM, ran the BIOS, first clean room BIOS that we did out of there, and number of global enterprise systems over the years.
So, where did you born? In which city?
Minneapolis.
So Midwest, kind of. And
Yeah.
when did you move to Silicon Valley?
About 15 years ago.
So, and why drawn you to Silicon Valley?
Well, I've been here so much for work. It's kind of is the mecca of computers, so it just felt like home. And a large part of it was just trying to escape the 40 degrees. 40 degrees below Fahrenheit is the same as 40 degrees below centigrade, and I think I learned that way too young. Really, I shouldn't know that.
But
wow.
you know, when it's snow, you sit at home and you experimenting in the house and creating.
Well, that's true. I mean,
Well, yeah, that's true. You can't really go out in the snow unless you're
there's
very, very brave.
Or better at hockey than I am. I wasn't
Oh,
that good
really?
at hockey,
Ah.
so that, there were people that lived for that. They just spent the whole time playing hockey. But it's either foosball or pool or reading, studies or tinkering with electronics.
Yes.
So when you moved to Silicon Valley, you worked for other companies, and at some point you decided to start your own. How has that happened in your life?
Well, the timing of it was a big part of it, was to see that this glass ceiling, I did a lot of work, was very interested in media and television, computer application to that. And there was a real ceiling. There was like a glass ceiling on it that there's kind of it's really an oligopoly, but it felt a lot more like a series of monopolies that cable companies and any game you were going to put in town to actually democratize that or distribute was pretty much had to go through the cable companies, and they weren't real interested in that kind of innovation, anything really revolutionary. And I frankly still don't think they are, from our assessment of the market and the interest in it. So I think the real revolution and the breakthrough pieces are coming from outside of that, the over-the-top crowd, the Amazons, the Netflixes, the Googles, the Apples,
Yes, TV.
Microsoft. They're all, I guess Apple's starting to work directly with Comcast, so that's maybe not so much the Apple side, but the rest of those are really kind of offering this new sort of revolution in media and how it's going to happen. And YouTube's a great example of it getting really, really democratized. And I think that's very much a part of where the future is going with this, is to have
TV become more of something everyone can do, not just a few companies.
Well, yeah, because the local TV used to be local to a city. And you look at what's the future of the local TV stations right now, they're really wondering where their future is. And I think there's business models there have to change. But if you look at how local is it now, the technology allows to be local to the living room, local to your pocket, local to your neighborhood, local to your friends, your social graph.
Yes.
That's one thing we did. We showed Facebook when we won our award at Apps World. They were on the panel, as were Google, Twitter, CNN, and these are all potential acquirers. But along with Amazon, I think, and Microsoft are very lucrative targets for that. But if you look at what they're I guess the agenda that you look at YouTube and the democratization of this is that. I guess what I'm trying to say is just simply that as local as you can get to a device, you're talking about pretty much everybody that's in your social graph starts to become part of this story.
Yeah.
So the news story, the news, weather, sports, entertainment stories start to become your engagement with other people, as well as things that blended with things that are more universally.
So watching TV starts becoming like a social thing instead of just you at home staring at a screen. Now it can be more social and everyone can be part of it.
Well, if TV doesn't adapt in that way, I think what you look at when you see the demographics of Gen Y and the post-millennials, they're leaving TV. I mean, the year-over-year ratings drops are happening. It's a demographic thing. But engagement share, they've lost over 50% in the last few years alone. So it's a huge drop. They're being propped up by some sort of increased viewing by baby boomers. That's not going to last demographically very long. So to get Gen Y and post-millennials back, I think it has to be looking at these more effective forms of integrating mass communications with interpersonal communications.
But I also see that it can help your solutions to increase revenue and profits for content providers.
That's our immediate go-to-market, absolutely. That's our real focus, short term. The real scalability, I'm talking sort of futures, because all of these things are embedded in embodiments in our patents. So we're covering this whole migration path to that point. But absolutely, we're able to provide immediate benefit to content providers and advertisers in terms of revenue and profits.
So how would you be able to do this? I mean, without giving any too many secrets, how do you do this to like what would you do to increase the revenue?
Well, when you present an ad to somebody and they have the option to start engaging with it and learning more about it, test driving the car or the bicycle, or engaging with characters in it, or even playing games. We have branded games that this can lead to. Then you give people the option to, you're letting them opt into the stuff that they're interested in. So you find out more about what they're interested in. You can also present them more of that, and so it's much more effective advertising. It's been measured at about 3 to 5 times the CPMs, which is the measure of the value of how much they pay. Advertisers will pay for that value. So it's 3 to 5 times more lucrative advertising opportunities. we can still put other ads into this content, and the content itself just it drives ratings up and it drives engagement up, which means that half an hour show, you might spend an hour on it, and that's a lot more advertising opportunity.
So wait, so like with this, like let's say if it's an ad for a car, would you be able to kind of tell? Would you be able to see more things about the car, see how it accelerates and things? Just
race it against the competition.
race against the competition. Wow.
Crash it into a brick wall and see.
That would be.
That might be negative branding. We're building the platform and the technology.
No,
I'm not the creative guy on the team.
No, but yeah, seeing how the car would actually feel would really help you know whether you want to buy it or not.
I think so. I think there's a very compelling commercial aspect to this, and everything we're seeing is that it's this is coming because it's powerful stuff.
It's interactive TV.
Yeah.
It's smart TV as it gets. And thank you to Dan. He is one of those people who worked in that industry and continue working in it. So thank you, Dan, to come to our show, Olga Show. And what would you wish to our viewers and listeners, as we have about a minute for your wonderful
Better
conclusion?
shared experiences. And I guess I
Alright.
mean that in a broader sense. I know that we're focused on these components of it, but in general, that's what I would wish.
All right, so thank you very much for coming to our show. If you would like to reach Dan, you can check his website, ReinCloud, REIN cloud.com. And you can always check with me, olgashow.org, and I would be happy to connect you guys. The video will be available at olgashow.org and also on YouTube. So you can repeat this interview at your convenient time, at any time and anywhere. That's also one of the creation we luckily have these days. So thank you very much to coming for our show. Olga Show supports technology, culture and people. Our show from you to you every Saturday night. We come in on live. Also Comcast. We have video for you 7 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday under Olga Show.
United